Hi friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I wanted to review yet another hotel in Turkey. This hotel is called NIRVANA Cosmopolitan and it's one of the most popular hotels in Antalya. We stayed there in September last year and we were genuinely impressed by this hotel. By the way, this review is not sponsored in any way, so all opinions are 100% my honest opinions, and we paid for the stay ourselves. So without further ado, let's get started. So the most impressive thing about this hotel is its lobby. Honestly, it reminded me of a fancy cruise ship. It has plenty of restaurants and hotels located on both parts of the lobby, and it's just so long and so impressive. Because of its lobby, the hotel gave us the vibes of an all-year-round hotel, and it's more like a country club slash luxury gym and slash shopping mall rather than a typical Turkey resort. The territory is surprisingly large. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to walk from the rooms to the beach, and there are no closer rooms to the beach. All the rooms are located in this massive building by the entrance. The hotel is really like a country club. It has absolutely ginormous tennis courts, paddle courts, football fields, massive Olympic-sized swimming pools. So naturally, I wasn't surprised when I found out that they host lots of sport events, including international competitions at the hotel, especially during the quieter times in winter and the beginning of March. Nirvana Cosmopolitan also has a large beach. There is a shuttle that goes there in case you don't feel like walking, but the shuttle goes every 15 minutes, and honestly, we were never there in time for the shuttle. We didn't mind probably 10 to 15-minute walk to the beach through the nice territory. So on the beach, there were always sunbeds. It didn't matter what time of day you arrived because it was always possible to find sunbeds, but they would be probably towards kind of the back of the beach. The sunbeds were okay. I wouldn't say they were the comfiest, and instead of having individual umbrellas, the hotel opted for kind of large sunshades. Overall, it was a pretty nice area, and there was a large bar at the back of the beach. Also, sometimes they would host events next to the beach. This is, by the way, the Sea Club, where you could get some snacks and also drinks, of course. But this area was dedicated to events. There were a couple of events during our stay. The most important one being Oktoberfest. Of course, it is seasonal, so you will probably only witness it if you're staying towards the end of September. And for a relatively short 3-hour event during the lunchtime, it felt like a very high effort. So there was definitely a lot of effort the hotel spent on installing all the decoration and preparing this extra food that didn't replace any of the meals, actually. So it was just in addition to the buffet, the normal buffet you would get.
Please, can you take all the bardaklarınızı alın? Bardaklar. 3, 2, Thank you again.
By the way, the hotel also has a nice water park, which you can see in the background of this video. It was perfect for kids. There was also a large kids club and a kids animation team with plenty of activities. I saw a schedule, and to be fair, kids were busy all day long pretty much, but we didn't have kids yet, so I cannot tell you my honest opinion about the kids club at Nirvana Cosmopolitan. But there were plenty of things to do for adults too. There were lots of cozy bars and restaurants, as well as the juice bars tucked around the territory of the hotel. My favorite was this one. There was a tea bar with a lovely garden, and you could just sit and chill there. But as I mentioned, there were plenty of tennis courts, paddle courts, and lots of activities you could take part in. There were also some paid activities and workshops. For example, there was paid yoga, and there was like something like a flower shop, but they had lessons about arranging the flower bouquets, which you could also book in advance. And overall, there were so many different things you could do. At the check-in, you get a phone number of your personal concierge, so you can send them a WhatsApp message and they can tell you everything that is going on at the hotel. I also really liked the gym at the hotel. It honestly felt like a premium gym, and it was better than most of the gyms I went to in the UK. It was almost always empty and it had the best machines, so it was the perfect place to visit. Besides the gym, there was also a Starbucks that was free of charge if you had all inclusive, so you could get, I think, up to 2 free drinks a day. It wasn't like an actual Starbucks in London, but it was still nice and it felt like a nice touch. Besides Starbucks, there was a patisserie that had actually absolutely amazing pastries and cakes, and the variety of things they had was probably rivaling a really nice restaurant in London. Some of the things were actually better than any of the things I tried in London, and they also had their own little chocolate factory and they made chocolates every day. This is just a small variety of all things they had. So kind of this window goes all the way for probably 3 or 4 meters. The variety was insane and the quality of everything was also insane. So honestly, I was shocked. I never seen anything quite like that before. And the actual buffet, where you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, was also very impressive. So when we were booking this hotel, I couldn't quite understand how it was working because the main buffet didn't look like an actual Turkish all-inclusive hotel buffet. It looked like a street food market. It looked very modern and unique with little booths serving all different types of food. But in reality, it is actually exactly what it looks like. In every like in every booth, you get a different food, and food was great. They also had their own bakery, so they had sourdough bread and lots of sourdough pastries. I would say, well, lots is a stretch, but they had some, and they were even selling the bread for to people outside the hotel. So these were the booths I was telling you about. It looks really stylish, so especially from the upper floor, because you can see the buffet when you are entering the hotel from the side when you're going back from the beach. In terms of variety, there was pretty much everything. It wasn't as big as some of the other buffets I have seen, but there was everything you could think of. And there were pre-made salads. There was a salad bar where you could make your own salad. There were plenty of different soups, and there was pasta in the cheese. And the quality of dishes was really good. I found myself going back to certain dishes and even asking for an extra portion because everything was delicious. Of course, there were dishes that were kind of okay. They didn't look too good, and I never even tried them. Some of those dishes, for example, they looked pretty simple. But every day there were a couple of kind of new or like star dishes that were very unique. So those ones we obviously tried. Because of the layout of this hotel, even during the busiest times, there was never a large queue to get anything, and it didn't feel noisy or too crowded because there were many sitting areas all around the buffet, kind of surrounding it on the sides. So again, there was never a large room where hundreds of people were concentrated and were extremely noisy, not at all. So it almost felt like eating in a proper restaurant, or not even a restaurant, but more like a food court of a premium shopping mall. I usually get tired of buffets, but because of so many different dishes and because of some dishes being extremely delicious and me having to get another portions of those dishes and not letting me eat anything else, I didn't feel like I got tired from this buffet, and I didn't feel like skipping any of the meals, to be honest. I only once, I think, skipped breakfast. Breakfast was also very good here, and the sweets were also nice, and they were different from the ones you get in a cafe at the entrance, which was unique because it takes a lot of effort to prepare those desserts, and the sheer variety of desserts this hotel has honestly blew my mind. That's why if you want to try all these desserts, you really need to hit the gym, and this gym will come in handy. Overall, it's probably not the most lavish or luxurious buffets I have ever seen, and as I said, the variety wasn't that large. Just the quality of the food was great, and yes, there were many, many dishes, don't get me wrong, but I've seen buffets with more dishes. That's what I mean. But it doesn't feel like it's lacking any options. And as I said, everything is really delicious. And I would totally come back there and eat there again. But the most impressive thing about this hotel is not the food and not the territory, but the animation it has. It has not one, but two theaters, and one of them is actually a proper professional theater. Well, it's more like a concert hall, and people outside the hotel can come there and purchase tickets. But if you're staying at the hotel for more than 4 days, in some cases 7 days, you get tickets to some of the shows free of charge. Those shows take place 2 or 3 times a week, and you need to ask your concierge to get you the tickets. But there were regular shows pretty much every single day at another theater, and the quality of those shows was also really, really high, and there was always live music pretty much every single day. Overall, I think Nirvana Cosmopolitan is a perfect hotel to stay for 4 to 7 days, and I would definitely return there in a heartbeat. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye!